India's economy is on a dynamic growth trajectory. As part of a visionary initiative on Money Control Policy Next, India's $10 trillion run, key policymakers, thought leaders and stakeholders decoded, discussed and envisioned the path to reaching the economic milestones set by the government and how the nation would have to navigate through pivotal policies that would impact future growth. The event kicked off with an enlightening keynote address by R.K. Singh, Union Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy.
I believe that electricity, or power, is the most important infrastructure, which is a sine qua non for development. Now, when our government came to office, you had a power shortage which ranged from 10% to 4.5%. In about 12-13, the shortage was in the region of 10, 11, 12%. Came down to about 4.5% in 2014. Today, the shortage has been wiped out. 0.1% to 0.2%, something like that. We have also emerged as a country which is at the forefront of energy transition. Simultaneously, we've done both. We've also emerged as a country which has ensured universal access. And ensuring universal access was a huge task. We had to connect 29 million homes. We connected 29 million homes. And we connected 29 million homes in 19 months in what the International Energy Agency called the largest and the fastest expansion of access ever in the history of the power sector.
As I try and highlight this journey, as I try and talk about the transformation that the country has gone through over the last decade or so, I'm hoping thereby to set the stage for what Modinomics 3.0 will look like. So it's important to understand Modinomics 1.0 and then Modinomics 2.0 to really understand how 3.0 can build on it and take it forward. Modi 1.0 was really about strengthening the economy and preparing the economy. So really the word to keep in mind here is strengthening. The second phase, which we are now ending, Modi 2.0, is really the phase that is characterized by Atmanirbharta, and I really think of it as resilience. And I think what's really exciting about Modinomics 3.0 and the run to $10 trillion, that this next phase coming up, and you're already seeing the foreshadowing of it, is going to be about leadership, particularly global leadership.
Thank you so much for your time and for capturing the key highlights for us in the last decade. One question that I'd like to ask you is that we are also living in very uncertain times. We face geopolitical risks, we face climate risks. How vulnerable is India when it comes to gearing up to deal with these new world challenges?
I think as far as the Indian economy is concerned, as far as our companies are concerned, our entrepreneurs are concerned, we are very well positioned. We are resilient, we have fantastic demographics, and we can continue to grow with that momentum at 6 or 7% for a very long time. However, what we have seen is that it is not so much the Indian economy, it really is external factors that start to create challenges for India. Obviously, we've had to deal with COVID that created real issues for us in the last few years. Now we are dealing with the geopolitical challenges of what is happening in the Ukraine and the Middle East as well. So geopolitical factors are always going to be very risky as they are for everyone else in the world. But because we have an open economy, we have an oriented economy, for us they are also very, very important, particularly in terms of foreign exchange. What we've seen is that whenever we've had a geopolitical crisis like a war in the Middle East, and oil prices or energy prices or other commodity prices have gone up, because we are a big commodity importer, those price moves, those price spikes have been quite volatile and have created challenges for us. So geopolitical risks play out for India through both exports getting softer and commodity prices going up. And therefore, we have to be very watchful.
The fireside chat was followed by a panel discussion on the macro story, interim budget and beyond. It was moderated by Gaurav Chaudhary, consulting editor, Moneycontrol.
So let's start off by some very basic macro questions, and first to Aditi. Aditi, you know, this government has, over the last 10 years, has demonstrated its intent to walk the talk on fiscal discipline, and that is something that has remained consistent and given over the last 10 years. Do you expect, given the fact that this is a pre-election budget, do you think that the government could actually suffer from some kind of pressure of populism and it's going to waver from that path, or do you think they're going to continue being on the same glide path?
We've had a very high headline-grabbing budget last year. The biggest headline of the budget was the 10 trillion capex allocation. And as we've gone through the year, we've actually seen that there has been quite a lot of optimism on the tax side. Our forecasts are that the gross tax revenues are going to exceed the budget estimate. So will the non-tax revenues on some accounts. But disinvestment has been a bit tardy so far. So the total upside on the revenue and the capital receipts we think is going to be modest.
The next fiscal year likely to see a lower real growth. But we had seen in this fiscal year, first 6 months our WPI was negative. That is going to give you a bump up to your deflator growth, and you may end up having a higher nominal GDP growth. And because of that, this will be a tough journey. So we believe they will do something around 5.3 the next fiscal year, and the heavy lifting of 5.3 to 4.5, 80 basis point, that has to be done in FY26, provided we continue to grow.
The government is on the right track. We will start producing APIs very soon. Within 2-3 years, I believe that production of semiconductors is going to happen. Already we are into solar. Already we are doing so good in space. And you see, all this industry 4.0, all these segments we are doing good.
The debt to GDP ratio is not likely to come down anywhere close to 60%, what the FRBM Act envisages. Anytime soon, it might persist longer, and if the government continues with very high fiscal deficits, it will take still longer.
Following the panel discussion was an insightful fireside chat on how India managed its food inflation with Consumer Affairs Secretary Rohit Kumar Singh. The session was conducted by Shweta Punj, Deputy Editor, Moneycontrol.
How do you monitor inflation in a country like India, which is so vast and so diverse? Just help us understand that a bit.
We monitor it from across the country. We used to monitor from about 150 odd centers, but last year we realized that unless you collect from all corners and all geographies within the country, you will not be able to get a real picture of how the prices are behaving in the country. So how it works, we have 550 points across the country, and at every day around this time, I get a report on my phone that how the prices of 22 essential commodities are behaving in these 550 points. We have a very, I can call it high-tech dashboard, and we can zero on to a district and to a commodity and see how the prices have, let's say, of rice have behaved in Ranchi for last 5 years, or how the prices of, coconut oil have behaved in Kozhikode for last 3 weeks. So we can do all that. So it's 22 commodities, and each place, each location, 3 points. So I have 22 into 3 into 550 data points that are reported every day through mobile app, and we share it in the ministry. And by the way, we are the only source of this primary data, and entities from the research bodies to Reserve Bank of India to everyone else relies on that, and we realize the importance of that. That is why there are many checks and balances at the point of entry of data, at the middleware level, and at the software that we run, so that there are no corrections, there are no deviations and it's all being reported in a nice way.